Hello, 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 and welcome to a new video. I'm not keeping up with my schedule as well as I was planning on doing, but I'm trying to work on it. Also, I have this should be the second video I upload, but I have like about 7 other videos pre-recorded, but I just wanted to record this one first. Because this is the different lighting that I might use. I have used it in the other 7-ish, 5 to 10, somewhere in that range, videos I have recorded. I was using this lighting there, so it's much more visible than the one in the previous video. If you haven't watched that, you can cross-reference to see what I mean by that. But I want to know what people prefer. So if you have seen both videos, or if you're just now seeing this one and you are looking, you can go look back at the first one. Which lighting do you prefer? Do you prefer something like this where you can actually properly see the items? Or do you prefer a much more atmospheric lighting where but where the triggers aren't really all that properly visible anymore? Which one do you prefer? I would love if you would be able to let me know down below, so I know with which I could proceed after this. Outside of that, I thought I'd bring some controllers and buttons here today for us to try and push different buttons. I'm a big fan of button sounds, personally. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm not gonna make sounds with the normal controller because that's sometimes a little bit too loud. I have that one in a different video already. That will come pretty soon. Normally, I mean, depends on my schedule. But I'm gonna try to make it a habit to record and then immediately upload, so I don't postpone uploading like I did with all the other videos I've recorded. But yeah. So yeah, let me know what you think about the lighting compared to the first video, which one you prefer, and then just enjoy the video. Outside of that, I really like close whispering. I should do it more often. So the first type of buttons we are pressing is a very old and basic calculator. I would be surprised if it even turned on. It did turn on. There's some buttons on here that I have no idea what they are supposed to even do. Let me take a look. Right. What? What does that do? That just always gives me the same answer. No, now it brings me 0. What? I'm so confused. Well, I don't know what everything on this does. I used to be really good at math. I would probably be able to pick it up pretty quickly again if I wanted to. But I used to be really good at it. I mean, I used to be horrible at first. And then suddenly the click just happened, I guess, and then I was really good at it. My teacher I had in my last year of high school was my math teacher. She couldn't understand why I wouldn't want to go and study maths after that, because she was like, oh, you've got natural feeling for it. You should proceed with that. And I said, yes, I could, but also, although I personally enjoy it, I know most other people don't. And at that time, I was still thinking of becoming a teacher, which is still not out of the question. But it's not as much my focus anymore. It's still something I would want to do, but it's not like, back then it was like, okay, yes, this is absolutely what I want to do, but now it's like, I could, but I also have other things that I might want to do, if those are possible. And I was like, yeah, if I'm going to become a teacher, I don't really want to be a math teacher, because I want to be able to add some extra creativity into my lessons, and I feel like that would be easier with courses like English and Dutch or history, which were the other ones I was debating between going with, which I did first study English and Dutch for a year. I was like, yeah, I think I can make those classes more engaging, more creatively interesting. Not that it's impossible with math, but it's harder and people are about to hate it anyway, and I was like, I'm not really down for that. I saw her a while ago. She asked me what I was doing, and I told her I was doing game design, and she said, okay, I can see that. Because it has the creative part, but it also has the logical thinking you need in code. Which at that point I was like, no. Because at that point I sucked at code. But now I'm getting slightly better. Took a while, but that's fine. Yes, that is the... Oh, that's actually really nice. The buttons are loose. So when I do that, I move them around. That's pretty nice. I quite like that. Then next up, I have... Which one should I take now? I'll take this one. I don't know how good this is going to be. So this is the controller of a console called the Alexibook, which, if you do know it, you either have heard of it somewhere randomly, but if you have if you've owned one, then either you have a really weird taste in consoles, or you didn't have the money to pay for a Wii, which was the case with me back when we bought this. So the concept of the Lexibook was it had this also like motion controller, which was this. It has a hole in the top for some reason, which it needed for the motion control, which didn't really work properly. It's a bit dusty, a bit more than just a bit. But it's basically, it said, yeah, you don't have to buy any more games once you have this. It comes with 100 games, but only like 7 of those games were games that used the motion control, and most of those were horrible. The tennis kind of worked, but most of them not at all. And then all the rest were like shitty little mini games. So I didn't really use this too often. I mostly went back to our old PlayStation 1. I preferred playing on that. Like Crash Bandicoot 3 it was. Warped, yes, that's 3. And 2. I didn't play 1 as much. And then played some Spyro. Ooh, that's actually much nicer than I thought. Very clicky. It has these two things on the side, which I never found out was the use of them. It just pushes something in. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. No, not really. It's too dark there. But it pushes these two little pins in there. And I have no idea what it's used for. But yeah, so I didn't really use this too often. There was one of the mini games I quite liked. But outside of that, not much. So I mostly went back to the PlayStation 1 to play, like I said, Crash Bandicoot. Sometimes Spyro, not much. I think there was a game called Mickey's Wild Adventure. That one was great. Hugo was pretty fun. A Bug's Life. I'm pretty sure we had a Bug's Life video game. And some Tomb Raiders, which I probably never got past level 1. We had a Toy Story game. That one was also pretty good. I don't know where the other controller is either. This is controller 2. I don't know where the first one is. It has a number on it. That's how I know. Also, let me know what you think of, like, the volume and the gain. Maybe it should be a bit higher. I'm not sure how. It's pretty low right now. I might actually make it a bit higher already. That was my stomach making some noises. I'm sorry. But I noticed in my last upload that it was quite quiet. But to me right now it sounds pretty loud. But maybe it's just because the volume was higher on my side. I thought that if I put this on max volume, it would be similar to what you hear, because the volume is what I hear. But maybe it's just in the middle, which is what you hear. I'm not sure. It probably said it somewhere in like a guide that came with it. I'm not sure what the word is exactly anymore. With the instruction manual that came with it. But I obviously didn't read that. Okay. I like that more than I thought I would. My mouth is starting to hurt. That's weird. Then I have this one, which you will also be able to see in one of the other videos that I have already recorded. That should come up in the following month or so. And this is also something I'd go back to instead of the Lexibook, which is the Namco Plug and Play, which has 4 or 5 Namco games on it. I explained it more in the other video, but mainly the games I played on this were Dig Dug and Pac-Man. At the end of when I was playing this, more Rally Racing or Rally X, that's what it was called. And my dad played a lot of the Galaga, but I don't know exactly what it was called. It wasn't called a Galaga. It wasn't the real Galaga. It was like a similar one. I looked it up in the other video. Doesn't have many buttons, and it says this one. Which I do quite like, that you can hear the spring in there. And then you have a joystick. Which I fucking love. We haven't done any tapping, because that's not the main focus of this video, but with this, I am so sorry about that. That was not my intention. My apologies. I know it is rather unprofessional to leave something like that in, but like I said in the first video, this is morely about just going with the flow and not spending any time on editing, since I don't have the time for that as of right now with game development and stuff like that. So I will leave that in, but I do apologize. I like that. It's like the hollow battery case. I think that's almost all of the items I have. Didn't want to record too much today, since I'm in the middle of a big school project that we have a week time for. It's like a case, we call it a case. I don't know why it's called that. But this time we have a week time for it, and it's all coding, which, like I said, I'm starting to get a bit better at, but still not my strong suit within the world of video game development. So So it's definitely a challenge. So I don't want to make it too late for myself. So I can still have focus tomorrow. It's already a bit past 1 a.m. here. So I'm gonna move on to the next and final buttons. Though it's 2 items at the same time. I will alternate between them. But they are within the same category. So I've got this old Samsung phone. And this old, what brand is this? Is M211 the brand? Oh, it's a Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi? What? Am I? Wait, let me take a look. Yeah, Mitsubishi makes cars, like I thought. But have they made a phone? Yeah, they did make phones. This is the Mitsubishi. There's a similar model called the M320. This is the M211. M211. Damn, I actually didn't know that. I never checked out what brand this phone was. They're old phones of my mom. She doesn't know I have them. She always kept them somewhere. She was like, oh yeah, maybe if I at some point want to go back to using them. She didn't. Because I think she was using this one until 20... It's definitely after 2010. I already had a smartphone by then. So it's way past 2010. Has to be at least 20... Has to be at least 2014, because that's when I got my first phone. But I think I already had my phone after that. So it's probably 2016. I think she used this phone until 2016, maybe even later. I think one of the main selling points on how I got her to use a smartphone, well, the main selling point for it was that she could go into a group chat with her colleagues, and that was the main reason. But I also told her, like, hey, think about it, then you could just play Candy Crush on the go. Which she does. Just mostly when she's, like, waiting for me at, like, a train station or something. And at night before she goes to sleep as well, of course. I also recently got back into playing it again. I haven't since probably 2016. But then I got bored a while ago. I was like, why not? Might as well give it a whirl. I'm not as passionate about it as her. She's over level 2000, I believe. I love old phone buttons. They sound like cracking bones almost. Like, my mom used to be able to do that, like text with this so insanely quickly. It was 9 out of 10 times spot on. She'd actually be going at that pace, which I was doing. Which I can barely hold it if I'm pressing it at that pace. She could send entire messages like that. I think when she just got a smartphone, she even put the keyboard on like this type of keyboard where it's like the numbers and then you have to press it multiple times to get a certain letter. I think I've been doing this trigger for the longest already so far. Completely lost track of time in my story, as I usually do. Which you probably wouldn't know yet because the other videos haven't come out. But you'll realize that most likely if you watch more of those. If you're a fan of rambles, I have a lot of those here. Because I can't seem to keep my mouth shut for 2 minutes. If people do actually think I should be silent a bit more often and I talk too much, and too much about things that they don't care about, then that's fine. You can leave any criticisms you have, and I'll try to take them into account if enough people have them. Though completely shutting up, I will rarely do. But I can try to tone it down a bit. But that is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Again, if you're still here, let me know what you think about the lighting in this video compared to the other one. Which one do you prefer? There will be a few videos of this lighting either way, but and maybe some ideas of videos you would like me to see try. Maybe triggers you'd like to see, or some concepts from within ASMR you'd like to see. Whatever. I want to try and take everything into consideration because I do want to try and take this more and more seriously and do this more and more. Because ASMR is something that I am passionate about. It's something that has been in my life since also 2016. It's a lot of 2016. It's not just because I can't come up with a different year. It is because it's all 2016. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you've been able to maybe fall asleep even, or get some rest, or relax, 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 relax. Leave a like if you did, and the other YouTube stuff, notifications and subscribes, and you know about the comments. That just genuinely really helps me. I mean, the rest also does, but the rest helps me as a channel. Well, the comments help me as like a person behind the channel of how to properly go forward with it. But yeah, thank you for watching, and let's try to not drag this out any longer. I never know how to end out these videos. I never know how to end these videos. There we go. So, thank you for watching, and I will catch you later.